Hello, hello, and welcome back to the 5 Foot Strong podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Gerlock, and I'm doing this episode solo. It's been a season and a half since we started the 5 Foot Strong podcast, and I just wanted to kind of recap and go kind of what we learned over the past season and a half. This episode, I normally ask my guests, what does being strong mean to you? And I want to go over some of the answers that we've gotten over the past season and a half. And, most of it does include resilience. Most of it includes bouncing back, you know, getting thrown down and then getting back up, wiping your knees up and, moving forward, resilience, you know, bouncing back all has that kind of same idea. And again, I agree 100% that is what strength is. Strength has nothing to do with how big your muscles are. It has to do with how much you believe in yourself and how much you work on yourself and that, relationship with yourself, because whatever you are thrown at, it all comes back down to you. And a lot of the journeys that we have gone through over the past season and a half, we have learned that, everybody, no matter who you are, is going to be thrown curveballs in their lives. But it's our reactions, and it's how we move forward. That's strength. I work out, not every day, but like 6 days a week, not for my muscles, but for me, because I'm working on me. It's my time to focus on myself. And no matter whether you're a business person, whether you're a parent, whether you're, whoever you are, we all have to focus on ourselves more to gain our strength. And that is the true purpose of strength. I want to talk to you guys about the whole idea of fear. Fear is something that stops a lot of people from moving forward. And we need to move forward and not live in the past, which is important to being successful and to being strong. You guys are going to be sick of the word strong by the end of this, but I want you guys to all understand that I use it in, the saying for the podcast is, our caption for the podcast is, whether you're 5 feet tall like myself or 7 feet tall, we are all strong in our own unique and beautiful ways. And it's true. We just have to focus on our strengths and let them grow. And again, growing, moving forward, resilience, bouncing back, strength, all has that kind of same idea. But fear, a lot of people don't realize that fear stops you from reaching your highest potential. People are scared, whether it be because of what other people think, whether it be if there's a higher risk involved, but you won't reach your highest potential in life if you let fear stop you. And again, it should never, you shouldn't, there's that saying is like, don't let fear stop you, the fear of getting hit by a ball or something, stop you from playing the game. It's true. Because if we always live in what ifs and not having risk, participating in things that involve a little bit more risk, we kind of go for the safe side. And, if you want to be like the 90% that wants to follow what, the societal, we go to school, we go to university or college, we get married, we have children, that's fine. But if you want to develop yourself and work on, believing in yourself and having that self-development. I use fitness in that to gain my confidence and my inner strength. That is my vice. When I'm anxious, when I'm scared, when I'm fearful, I know that true strength is to push through, follow through, keep going, move forward, take that one step forward. Because in the end, we're all going to have to go through something. But it goes back to how we react and how we have to spend that extra time working on ourselves a little bit more. And unfortunately, I learned a few years ago after losing a friend that life is too short. And the fact is that if we let, fear and self-doubt and all that stuff stop us from getting our dreams, life is going to be over before we know it. So we better live life to the fullest. Be as healthy as you could be. Work on yourself, work on your health. In this podcast, we talk about mental health and physical health. And I want people to understand that, we only have one body. We have one brain, and life is too short. So how we treat ourselves, it's kind of like leasing a car. We got to treat it with a little bit more respect. Treat it as if, you don't know what tomorrow brings. And that's, I hate to get deep on that, but it's true, because the 22-year-old version of myself would not have been saying what I'm saying to you now. But through personal growth and personal development and building my physical health and working on my mental health every single day, it is a priority to me. That's why I ask all these guests that come on, how do you guys prioritize your mental and physical health? Because no matter who you are, no matter what you do for work, no matter how many kids you have, we have to work on ourselves to be the best version of ourselves for everybody around us. It's important to bring positive energy around you. And, a negative mind leads kind of to a negative life, unfortunately. And we see that in, the decline of people's mental health. We could even see it as signs of decline in people's physical health. When I first get a client, you could see that if somebody is overweight and somebody doesn't love themselves and love their bodies, I can see that within 5 minutes of talking to someone, because they don't have confidence. They don't believe in themselves. They don't think that anything is possible. When you show that to somebody that they can do something, when you get you as a trader, me, like when I believe in somebody and somebody else receives that and they feel like, oh, somebody else believes in me, that helps with the inner strength. But it's also important to realize that, yes, external validations can impact your strength, but it also you have to believe in yourself. You have to internally get to the point that you have faith and have hope that everything will work out. Again, you can't worry. You can't be fearful. You got to believe. You got to believe in yourself. You got to have confidence. You got to know that if with hard work and determination that anything is possible. And, somebody who lost over 100 pounds, I realize that all the time. Like that taught me, when I look at that from an outside perspective, I'm a very visual learner. So when I look at that, I actually did that one step at a time, 1 pound at a time, I know that anything is possible. I can't get overwhelmed. That's my problem. I get overwhelmed. But I make lists and I have routines. And all of that has helped me create a healthy lifestyle because as a personal trainer, people think that it's just about fitness. It's just about the physical health. It's just about the appearance. But it is so much more than just somebody's appearance. It is about how somebody feels inside. When I work with somebody and I see that, when they first came to me, their head was down and, their body, the way their body read to me was like they didn't love themselves. And throughout sessions, you see the head stands up taller, the smile, each time gets bigger and bigger because it's that belief in yourself. You have, fitness is just a one way you could do it. But as we've had guests on, they've used swimming, they've used dancing, they've used whatever it is. I use lifting because when I lift a big deadlift or, gets up, like hit a personal record that I never got before, it gives me such confidence in myself. And that protrudes outwards, not just in the gym, but in my life, in my business. In the last year, I look back and I wrote a book, and I used that same mindset of one step at a time, one page at a time, one word at a time, whatever it is, break it down. Because for me, as someone who gets overwhelmed, the idea of losing 100 pounds or writing a book is so overwhelming that most people could not do it just because of the thought that it feels almost impossible. But if you believe in yourself that anything is possible, then losing 100 pounds or writing a book or creating a podcast that's inspiring people is all possible because it's the work I've put into myself that I want to help people now. My goal now in life is to inspire everybody to live a healthier, happier lifestyle because I figured it out. I figured it out by putting in the hard work. There was no quick fix. There was no, I hate to say it, but like there was no Ozempic. There was no, tummy, there was no gastric bypass surgery. There was nothing like that. It was hard work. It was watching what I put in my mouth, how I worked on myself at the gym, how I made sleep a priority, how I made my nutrition a priority, because all of that gives me my body the nutrition and how we are supposed to treat ourselves. We are unfortunately not supposed to treat ourselves by partying all night and going to bed, at 6 a.m. and waking up for work at 9. It's just, that's not a sustainable lifestyle for longevity. And at the age now that I am at 32, I realize that longevity is so important. And I've talked about that with guests is, when we're in our 20s, we think that like we are unstoppable, that we can do anything. And if you keep having that mindset and belief in yourself, I'm 32 now. Do I feel like it? Absolutely not. Does my body feel like it? Absolutely not. I hear my friends complain about aches and pains and my back hurts and this. Does mine? No, it doesn't. I take care of myself and I take care of my nutrition. And, my friends used to make fun of me that I would go to bed really early. But, that's part of making myself a priority. And unfortunately, you have to make, personal boundaries. And those were some of them that helped me, feel better, feel healthier, we could talk about boundaries. People have talked about this on the podcast. I think it's important because I think if you take care of yourself, negative energy has to get out. You really want a positive impact around yourself, and that also includes who you surround yourself with. And working on personal development, personal growth, sharing ideas of future business plans. That is positive. Surrounding yourself with positive people will, in the end, inspire you to be more positive in your life and motivate you to live the best life possible. Living a healthy lifestyle is those things I've talked about it before, is like, nutrition, 100%. It's what you put in your body. We all know that. And again, unfortunately, our bodies were not made to eat all this manufactured food that is not like all this processed food. So, we see that the obesity rates have been climbing forever. Well, not forever, but in the last decade or two or three, like, you see the climate in the obesity rates. Like, it's a serious problem, especially in the United States, especially in North America, because, you don't know what they put actually in your foods when you eat out. And there's a lot of preservatives. And so if you don't cook a lot, which a lot of people don't, it is expensive, especially with grocery bills, 100%. But when we don't feed ourselves nutrients the way our bodies need it, focusing on our macronutrients, focusing on our proteins, focusing on our carbohydrates, focusing on our healthy fats and stuff, and we consume all this processed food, sugary food, high sugar. Sugars is the true killer. And so when we talk about healthy lifestyles, I don't like to focus on food because I think it's the relationship with food you have. We've talked about it when I talk with, people who were into drugs. We talk about that food can be an addiction 100%, because if you consume the wrong foods, it is 100% addicting. Can you eat one potato chip? Could you eat, like a little sliver? Like, unfortunately, we live in this world that, like, we're not eating pure food that's coming from our earth, and we're eating things that are manufactured, and that is impacting our nutrition and the way we feel. When I was heavy, I used to deal with gastric problems all the time. And since I started eating cleaner, like, my stomach feels so much better all the time. And it's just because I made a switch. I took out things, like I would make rules saying, like, nothing out of a box or something. Most things that are processed come in a box or a packaging of some sort. So really try to making better choices, stopping eating at a certain time, making healthy boundaries just in my own head, saying, I'm not going to eat out more than once a week. I'm going to cook. All those little rules have ended up, it doesn't feel like I'm on a diet at all. It just feels like this is my lifestyle. This is how I live. And, my weight has stayed down. I've been able to maintain my weight loss. I feel great. I'm in my 30s now, and I feel I'm in my 20s. I think that when we talk about strength, even willpower, when it comes to, there's always going to be, I talk to clients all the time, there's always going to be temptations around you. There's always going to be parties to go to, reasons to go eat out, excuses, working too late, all that stuff. But it's about the willpower to actually say, no, I really got to do this. And if you care about your health and you care about your eating, that thought process will stop you from, going to the temptations, because the temptations of, having friends and eating out and the potato chips and the you know, sugary drinks, they're going to be more easier, more accessible and easier to uh, get, but they will not satisfy your actual nutrition needs. And in the end, won't make you feel as good as you should and as positive as you should. So I think that's an interesting, again, it goes back to the relationship with yourself, whether it be working out, whether it be nutrition, whether it be sleeping. There's always going to be a temptation to not do something. There's going to be excuses to not do something. But if you take the time to work on yourself and work on the resilience and work on the, strength, the inner strength and the willpower and all those personal development skills will help you in all areas of your life, not just what you consume eating wise, not what you just do in the gym, but expands outwards to, how you perceive life in a more positive and healthy way. I didn't have this perspective when I was in high school. I was eating fast food. I remember one time I spent like 1 month, $2,500 on fast food. And that is why I was 227 pounds at my max. What I was consuming was not good, but why was I consuming that? It's because I was not happy with myself. So it's again that work on myself. I had to find out the true problem, why I wasn't happy with myself, why I didn't love myself, and then start working, make a plan and work on it, whether it be changing my eating habits, whether it be, joining a gym, whether it be, going to bed earlier, all those little things add up to big results. And 10 years later, I've been able to completely change my life. And it's because I've worked on myself and, that is what I wanted to show in this podcast is that strength is something that you and only you can develop over time. And whether it be fear, whether it be, self-doubt, whether it be, just not loving yourself, all of that is goals that you can work on to change, but only you can be the one to make that change, nobody else. And whether you hire therapists, whether you hire trainers like myself, I know when as a trainer, I normally can tell since I've been doing this for a while, that if you're in it for the right reason, and if you're going to last, if you're going to make those goals, because if you are not willing to make changes in your life, you will not see changes. And that's the truth, is if you don't make changes that are holding you back, then you won't see those positive changes in your life, and you won't grow. You won't, you'll kind of be at a standstill, if that makes sense. So I think those are important things to realize is, in the first episode of this podcast, I shared my story of how I lost 100 pounds, how I was bullied, how I dealt with all these, depression, anxiety. In the end, it came back to I didn't love myself. And I used, lifting and working out and working on my nutrition and, taking a totally different path than my life was taking. And it's because I did it. I saw a therapist, I saw a nutritionist, I saw all those. But I think I said it in the first episode, it all comes back to you. Whether you're a food addict, whether you're, a drug addict, whether you're, whoever you are, we all can make changes and healthy changes in our lives to be our best selves and to be strong in our own unique and beautiful ways. And that is the whole point of this podcast. So I hope whether you listen to me or whether you listen to some of our guests, you can always take something away to inspire you and motivate you to live a healthier lifestyle. Because again, we only have one life and we better live that life, to the fullest. And I figured that out. And I know a lot of people, might never figure that out. But if I can share with you that everything's possible, you can turn that negativity to positivity. You could flip the switch. You could go from 227 pounds to 125. You could go from, barely under, my English teachers in high school would be shocked, to writing a book. You can flip that switch, but I had to believe in myself that it was even possible. And now that I have that mindset, and I used to, my brand was, mindset, fitness, and wellness, is because everything comes back to, our mindsets. It's, a positive mindset will lead to a positive life, and a negative mindset will lead to a negative life. I've said it again, and I'll keep saying it, that, you can either be on an upward spiral in life or you could be on a downward spiral in life. But it all, you have to believe in yourself. You have to have the resilience, because things will be thrown at you in life. You will have, curveballs, fastballs, everything thrown at you. But it's, you have to know how to deal with that, and, get knocked down 5 times, get back up 6 times. Like, you just got to keep going, moving forward, bouncing back. And whatever, somebody has, their meaning of strength is, you gotta believe in yourself and take risks, and don't let fear to stop you from living your best and healthiest life. So I wanted just to share this episode today to just be inspiring, and know that, like, no matter who you are, no matter where you are in life, no matter how healthy or unhealthy you are, every day is a new opportunity to get healthier, to focus on your mental and physical health. We can't use excuses. It's all about our resilience. And each day, whatever you do, whether it be lifting at the gym, whether it be, swimming, whether it be dancing, I don't get, boxing, whatever it is that you enjoy, take the time to prioritize you, your mental health and your physical health, because they are both equally as important. I want to end, by saying that we all have the ability in ourselves to grow. And we all have to believe that we can't use external validations. We can't use people to tell us, oh, you could do this or you could do that. We have to know that if you want something, if you are passionate about something, you have to go for it. You have to take that one step forward, and, one page at a time, 1 pound at a time, whatever it may be, break it down. I use lists. If I could give a tip of advice, it's routine is very important. I use lists to remember things, because I just don't remember. I have so many things going on. I just don't remember everything. And, work on yourself, because nobody could say, people could say whatever they want. But if you don't love yourself, that's not something you have to live with for the rest of your life. Everything is possible, whatever it may be. We could all, whether you are overweight, whether you are skinny, we could all make healthier changes in our lives to be strong. And once we're strong, I think one of my guests said it, strong people lift, others up. Well, weak people put people down. And I'd rather us all lift people up. And again, be positive, live our best, healthiest selves, and, lift each other up, because we need more of that in the world. And that is truly what strength is the work on ourselves, the personal development, the inner growth. Whether you're 18 or 80, we could always grow. We are not at a standstill. And if you have that growth mindset, whatever you want to achieve in life is possible. So I want to end it there by thanking you all for tuning in week after week to the 5 Foot Strong podcast. I hope you've taken something away, learned something, because in the end, we all have it inside all of us to make those changes in our lives, to be our best and strongest selves. So let's end it there, and hope to speak to you guys next week. Have a great week and stay strong.